I guess 6 a.m. or what, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, and 6 a.m. Pacific. And we're gonna go ahead and do this virtual contest, I think. Yesterday I did. Oh, yesterday I did the virtual contest, and oh wow, and it's gonna be one of those days. Yeah, so yesterday I did the virtual contest and I did really well. So this should be about it should be like 85, 1785 now, which will push me a bit closer, maybe 8% I might reach. I'm not actually sure. And, but this is going to be kind of it's another study stream. We're going to go over the contest, not actually go over the solutions, but the actual like content of it. And by the way, this is what I would recommend, right? So like I've been saying for a while now, like you need to do contests, you need to do contests, you need to do contests. Because this is going to help gauge your strength. You're going to know how you're improving over time. You're going to know like, how good you're getting. That's going to be very, very important for you growing. Now that said, if you can't show up for the contest in time, what you can do is you do a virtual. So like what you're going to do is you're going to come here, you're going to click contest, right? You see like, yeah, this is like the upcoming contest, but if you don't want to go there on these days, you want to do them whenever you want, pop a virtual, right? So you're going to click virtual, go on one of these. Like it doesn't matter which one, literally does not matter. You're going to click virtual. You're going to take it and you're going to see how you do. So that's what we're going to do now. And then if you want to see like how you did compared to other people, you click virtual here, right? My contest, virtual. And then you can see right like here I got 3,000, rank 3,000, really good. Rank 2,000, really good. 7,000, not so great, right? Not so great. 5,000, 2,000, like 1,900, right? Like, and then you have my stuff in 2022, right? Where I'm obviously like a lot weaker. But you get to see this progression. You get to see like how your studying is paying off. Very similar to like going to the gym. So, and if you want to know like, exactly, how good you're doing, like proportional, right? Like what's 10,000 divided by 17 or 18,000, right? What is that? 60, top 60%, right? So this is like, my scores before I was top 60%. And then I actually like started studying more and got better and better and better. That's all it is, just consistency. So what I'm going to do is go through this virtual, start the contest, and let's go to it, jump in. So just pop these open. You're given an array of floating point number averages, which initially empty. You're given array nums of n integers, which is even. You follow the procedure, remove the smallest element and the largest element, add them together to averages, return the minimum number element in averages, min and max divided by 2. Okay, so this one I think is just sorting with like 2-pointer, and you just have like, yeah, just a pointer like left and right, and you just keep taking. You could also just do this as a deck, so you sort of then turn into a deck, I believe, right? So like we do like D is like deck of nums, which is kind of weird, but I think this is fine to do. Nums is equal to sorted nums, right? And then now that we have this, now like I think it's while D, right? We're gonna do the mini is gonna be D dot pop left, the maxi is D dot pop, right, like that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take them and they're gonna say answer is equal to the min of answer, and then mini, is it mini minus maxi or absolute values or no? Min plus maxi, whoops. Okay, mini plus maxi divided by 2. Like this. Are these floating points that I'm returning, or? Yeah, it is. It's a float, so that'll be fine. And then answer is equal to math.infinity. And then we just return answer. Like this, should be fine. So every time we're just popping left, popping right. We get 5.5, 5.5. Yep, looks good. Cool, it works. Now let's go into the second one. Find the minimum area to cover all ones. You are given a 2D binary array grid. Find the rectangle with horizontal and vertical sides of the smallest area, such as the ones in the grid lie inside the rectangle. Return the minimum possible area of the rectangle. Find a rectangle with horizontal and vertical sides of the smallest area, such that the ones lie in this rectangle. I don't understand this. Why does this look bigger? The smallest rectangle has a height of 2 and a width of 3. The smallest area is just this one. Yeah, I don't understand. Find a rectangle with horizontal and vertical sides of the smallest area. Okay, that's like normal for a rectangle. Such that all the ones in the grid line is rectangle. Okay, so we want to track locations of all the ones and then build a triangle out of that. So like here we have a 1, and then here, so now we expand out. So now this is it. And then we see this one here. So then we have to expand it. Now that said, this is probably like, it looks like this is probably like the minimum and maximum one that we've seen. So like what's like the minimum row that we see it? Like what's the first row that we see one? Okay, it's here. And then what's the maximum row? Oh, that's here. And then we do the same thing for the columns. What's the minimum and maximum column? And that's going to give us our distance. So probably just have like 2 variables, maybe mini row, maxi row. And then we just like check. We check the boundaries, and then like that just works. Like we check the minimum and maximum value that we've seen so far, and then we just subtract them. So like min row, max row, min column, max column, something like this, and then we just go through the grid like. Right, and then we have like the element or whatever. Element is grid at ij, and then like if element is equal to 1, then we do min row is equal to the minimum of like the current row that we're at with the min row, and the same thing with the max row. And I love this set. I wish this was Vim, like, but just Vim doesn't work on this specific one. So unfortunately, I'm kind of like just lost out of that. But we want to do the same thing with the max column too. But this time we want to do J. So min column, max column, and same thing here. Just a lot of typing, really. Just like it's just a typing test. So then we do J, and then 2J. And then now that we have the min and max, we just return the, right, like max row minus min row times min column minus max column minus min column. Like that. I don't know if these need to be ints. Probably it's fine. These are all ints anyways, so there's no floating. And then let's see what we get. Hoo-hoo! We've messed it up. Okay, here, like, I'm thinking, right, so we see, like, 1. So then now our minimum column is 1. Like, shoot, I don't even want to. We'll just go to the drawing board on this. Like, I mean, I could have. No, min. Oh, no. Well, that's it. I could have, like, typoed something. That's, like, very likely. Because I think the idea generally works, but nope. Oh, boy. Like, we go here to here because this is where the last scene are. We go here to here because that's the last scene. And we get 1, 2. Oh, my God. Hold on. Print. Max row, min row, max column, min column. I really feel like this works. But for some reason, we're getting what, 0, 1, 2, 0? 0, 1 for the row? 0, 1, yeah, that's perfect. Do I need to +1 it? Is that what needs to happen? That we need to +1 it? That's weird, right? 6 and 1. Okay, I mean that's kind of weird that I don't know why I need to +1 it, but that's it. We're gonna submit it. We're gonna submit, even though I don't understand why, but cool. And we get accepted. Nice. Okay. So maximum cost of alternating subarrays. You are given an integer array nums with linked in. The cost of the subarray is left, right, where defined as cost left, right, nums at left +1, all the way up to nums at right. Huh? Nums at left minus, but then it pluses. And then we multiply it by -1. I don't know what that means. Your task is to split this nums into subarrays such that the total cost of the subarrays is max. Ensuring each element belongs to exactly one subarray. Formally, if nums is split into k subarrays where k greater than 1 at indices, the total cost will be 0 I cost I. Return an integer denote the maximum total cost of subarrays after splitting them optimally. The total cost is simply 0 to n minus 1. Oh my god, this problem feels crazy. I don't understand what it's saying. 1, okay, 1, -2, 3, 4. One way of maximizing is by splitting this array into 1, -2, 3. With a 4, and the total cost will be like 1, 2, 3 plus 4. Okay, cool. So we're really going over notation here. The cost of a subarray from L to R is from here, but then we go the left minus L plus 1 plus like everything in between. So L plus 2, L plus 3, L plus 4 until we reach this final like ending point. And then what we do is we just multiply it by -1. And then why is it -1 to the power? So this is like if the difference is greater than, like if this one's 3, well then it's not negative. But if it's 4, like it's basically all odd numbers, right? Like so like 2, if right is 2 and left is 1, well that's the size of like, that's a window of odd, so then this is negative. But like if our window is an even, if we have an even window here, then we shift it to positive. So we probably generally want even, like again, you know, talk about observations for problems. Like this probably means that when we want to maximize this, we want even window sizes, essentially. So 4 and 2. So that this is, you know, not, so this is not negative, because negative is not maximizing really. Unless this whole thing was negative, in which case I guess so it is. But we're only given, no, we are given negatives. Okay, so that's fun. That's fun. So maybe this idea doesn't matter, but it's something to keep in mind. Your task is to split nums into subarrays such that the total cost of the subarrays is maximized, ensuring each element belongs to exactly one subarray. Formally, if nums is split into k, the total cost will be from 0 to I to 1, right, I plus 1 to 2, right? Like I understand these, this is like kind of like subarray stuff, but you want the cost of every subarray. Okay. So, okay, I think I understand. So we want to split this into like some subarrays. So they have to be connected. They have to be contiguous, right, with each other. And we want to know what's the maximum cost that we can get. This feels like a DP problem. Feels like a DP problem where we're just like generating over all like the things. Because like we want to take, oh, this subarray, and then we also want to take this one, but then sometimes we want to do like this one and then this one, and then like this one and then like this one and this one. We want to try like all of them. Also, I haven't been checking my stream. Actually, I completely forgot to do that. But that's it. I don't expect anybody to be online on like again. It's early in the morning. So I expect like nobody to be online. I just check. Let me check the chat. See if anybody messaged. My bad, guys. There's like 5 people here on a Sunday morning. I was not expecting that at all. What's good? Chris too rich. C2R. What's the problem? Is it the daily? No, it's not. It is not the daily. Ferrari 296 IX. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? Yeah, my bad. I was not expecting people to be here on a Sunday, like doing like Leetcode stuff. And Chris, I'm doing the, if you're still here, I know it's been about like 10 minutes of me going over the problems, but if you're still here, I am doing the contest, or doing like the old like this old contest from last night. And the problems from here. So yeah, that's what's going on. Anyways, next time I'll be looking at the chat, so I can actually see what you guys are typing. If you guys do type. Now, for this problem, let's see here. Let's see. I mean, it might make sense. Are you doing this every day until you're employed? No, probably every day for the next year, maybe. Even if I am employed or not, I'm still going to be doing it. But I'm not employed, so I mean, it would help to have a job, but I don't think it's necessary. Just keep doing this to improve and prepare. I think I have like a, or I mean, I say I have. I might be able to swing and pull like a Google interview in August. So I think this stuff will help for that. Might be able to swing and pull it. And then if I can get that interview, like Google's just like pure DSA stuff, so I could probably just crush, I think. Maybe. Anyways, but if it doesn't, if it doesn't work out, hey, can't really do anything. All you can really do is just practice and try to improve. So with this subarrays problem, I think it's like DP, but that's it. It might not be. There might be like some little silly trick. It might be some silly trick where, let's see. This thing is pretty big. This like that it flips negative depending on the size of the window, and that the first one needs to be subtracted. Like that's another weird thing. Or that the second one subtracts like from the first one. That's so weird. Right, so like this 1, -2, -3 becomes 1 + 2 + 3. And because it's odd, that means that we don't, like we get like what, 2 minus 0? 2 minus 0? 2 minus 0. But then this one is like, this is why I feel like you should just have to try every single combo. I legitimately feel like you just try every combo. Because I don't know if there's any trick that you could use. Aussie at CMU. I work at Google. Let me know if you need a referral. Thanks. Thanks, Aussie. Are you E3 visa? No, I got a green card now. Just went to L5. Trying to switch to finance. I found this dude. You're trying to switch to finance. Also, yeah, thanks. Yeah, I have a lot of friends, or somehow, I don't know how, it's kind of lucked up this way, but I have a lot of friends who work at Google. I remember I have like 10, like maybe like 5 people from my college went to that company, and then probably met other people too. Like I don't know how, but they all, I just have like a lot of people who work at Google. But no, thanks Ozzy. Keeping that in mind. And it's kind of weird. How'd you find me and you're switching to finance? How'd you, or how did, are finance people like leak coding? Also, why are you trying to switch to finance? Especially if you were, just promoted. One thing I think that I might do is like do more. I've kind of talked about this too before, but like go into like business stuff. Like I think that's actually probably what I might end up pivoting to, like just in my YouTube channel and in my life too, right? Like I mean, these are kind of one and the same. Like what you're doing is like just me on my life, but like I think at some point, at least maybe in next year, I'm gonna be pivoting to like business stuff. So like startups and like analyzing like what is like a good business strategy and things like that. Oh, the finance HFT. Okay, you mean HFT is okay, high frequency trading. And when you said finance, I was thinking that you're like going to be counting numbers like on an Excel sheet. Okay, that's nice. Yeah. Bet Simp. Betsy. Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, this one I don't know. This is a tough problem. I feel like I don't know if no. I mean, this one has to just be tough. I think I can get it, but I think it's just I have to do DP. That's the only way I can think of because I don't know which way to form it without trying every combo. Shoot, man. So let's go over here. Well, what is this? 1, -2, 3, 4. Is quant real or is it a lie made by exam boards to motivate students? I mean, no, none of my college. I wish my college told me that quant stuff was a real thing. Literally, nobody told me that about high frequency trading or quants. I feel like colleges need to spend more time like giving telling you about your actual career prospects. That would have been really cool to know, but it's kind of hard to find that stuff. I mean, like, you guess you just got to search it online, basically. Never would have thought there would be any Australians at CMU. Did you go to uni there in Oz? And how many different? So different was it? Oh, you're basing it off of his name. Recursion. Is quant real or lie? What is a realistic salary in tech/fintech? Well, there's a really cool website if you want to know. You just go to levels.fi. So like here, it'll tell you. It looks like it's actually pretty marked on for the world, actually, depending on where you are located, right? So like this is like in Colombia. These are Colombian jobs. So this is like 30,000 a year. In Colombia, my guess is it's probably the same in India because you guys have very similar cost of livings between Colombia and India. So about $15 an hour for a software engineer there. But let's say Microsoft in the United States, at that same level, is 180,000. So you can unironically 5x your salary. It feels like 5x your salary. But that's it. You can type in any company. You can type in Walmart. That was Fang, obviously, right? Fang pays the most, so don't take that as representative. That is not a typical salary, right? Walmart is not even typical either. Like they're literally Fortune 500, but they want the best. But 160 for mid level at Walmart. So yeah, that's that. Go to this website. Go to levels.fi. Levels.fi. FYI. There you go. I've already seen that. Those jobs realistic to achieve? I mean, it depends so who you are. If you're like a slacker in college with a 2.0 GPA, no. I mean, maybe it's realistic. I'd probably lean no. You're probably not going to get anything from it. If you're one of the best programmers in the world, then yeah. I mean, the NSA breaks programmers, but if you just like study programming and you like work on it and you do all the stuff that they want, right? Like, then yeah, it is. It's definitely realistic for sure. Realistic for anyone. And realistic for anyone who just wants to like put in the time to learn computer science and programming. But there are a lot of people who don't actually care about programming like at all. Like they just kind of like show up to class and then they leave. Which again, I don't even know if you're a student or not, but if you're asking it, I'm figuring you're a student. I'm saying that as a high school student who just ended sophomore year. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you, Chris, too rich. Yeah, like, yeah, the question you asked made me think that you're on the younger side, but yeah, like, is it realistic? Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, if you're a high school, like, if you want to know how to like the secret, or it's not even like a secret, but just like how do you get into these jobs? Is like you're gonna go up to the interview and they're gonna ask you like programming questions. So they test your programming knowledge, and then if you can answer those, you pass, and if you can't, then you fail. And then before that, you have to have like some projects that you make that just show that like you have a passion for programming, essentially, or that you have like a knowledge of programming. But yeah, I mean, if you're doing Google stuff, Google's one of the hardest to get into, but you have to do this data and algorithm stuff. So like these problems that I'm doing right now, you have to be able to come up with a solution to this problem specifically. And yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like 100% possible. You just like, are you gonna actually be able to pass this stuff? Right now, are you gonna be able to actually answer their questions? And these are the hard questions, though. This is the bottleneck that most people fail at. They stop here, where you have to do like Leetcode. Okay, came to see me for undergrad. Lots of HFTs of NYU. No, yeah. Cool. All right, so this one, let's try to come up with some DP solution. And I think we either have two steps. We either want to expand our current array. Shoot, I feel like we either want to expand our current array, or try a new one. Try building a new one. So let's say we got one. Where k is greater than 1. So 2. So we have this one. Then we do, this is like 1 plus negative 2. Maximum total cost. Okay, so this is 3. This is 3. And then this one's 3. And then this one is, wait, hold on. Wait, that's so weird. They group it here, like for here, but like, oh wait, no, you can't have a 1 subarray. That's why. Okay. But we can do here, or we can expand. Now, ideally, I think optimally we want to keep expanding if it's positive, because like literally, why not? Literally, why not? Why would we not? We just want to keep expanding if it's positive. So like this one, we get 3. But then we're stuck because we lost this one and we need to include it somewhere. Or is it, okay, wait, I'm seeing something. I'm seeing a pattern. The interesting thing here is that we'll keep expanding this number if we just take like, if there's like a negative and we like say like, oh, well, this is a negative. Okay, cool. Let's just like add it to whatever this one is. And then, oh, this one's a negative. Oh, let's add it to whatever this one is. So now we get 2, 2. And essentially, we can find negatives and then just add them. And keep adding them. I think that might be optimal. Have you tried Code Forces? I am practicing for a British Informatics Olympiad. Nice. Sounds good. If you're practicing for the British Informatics Olympiad, I mean, you're on a very strong path. Chris, too rich. You're on a strong path to getting a passing Google interview for sure. You should do contests though for sure. If you're practicing, you definitely want to do contests, I think. Okay, cool. So wait, hold on. I think this might be kind of smart, you know? That I don't know if it cracks. I don't know if it, or I'm trying to disprove it with some case, but like if we have like 100 here, right? Like this one kind of sucks, but we have to include the first one for sure. And it just kind of keep expanding out, but then there is some stopping point. There is some stopping point. Like we need to take the first one, but our stopping point I think is just a negative number here. So that then we can just stop it, cut it here, and then just pick up this negative. So now we're at like 102 or whatever. And this one, okay, sure, we're like down, but like we kind of need to. There's another idea where maybe these are all negatives or something. Like that's one thing I'm thinking about. So like, what if it's just all negatives? Well, then we're still taking this first one, but because this one's a negative, I would be inclined to try to create it here, but we can't. That's impossible. So then we just keep going, and then we're like, oh, well, this is a negative. Oh man, no, but this kind of doesn't work because of this stupid part here, which is that depending on the size, you can also flip it. Oh my God. So I think we might be back to the drawing board. Boss Gons, the real Raymond Jones. What is up? Boss Gons. I am not that good at programming, currently doing a 1000 rated problem. What is the problem? The problem? This? It's from the contest yesterday. I don't know what you mean by currently doing a 1000 rated problem, right? Like, what do you mean I'm not that good at programming? If you're practicing for Code Forces Olympiad, you have to be good at programming, right? Not Code Forces Olympiad, but the Informatics Olympiad or whatever. Although I don't know what 1000 rated is. It a Leetcode 1000 rated? My guess is it's not a Leetcode 1000 rated. It's like a Olympiad 1000 rated. You and Simon are my inspiration to one day do Leetcode. You gotta get on it. Technically, actually, you're probably doing Leetcode right now if you're just like passively even solving the problems. You're definitely like doing Leetcode. I'll do that too when I'm watching Simon. So I'll like I'll solve the problem with him, but like I'm still thinking about the problem. So he'll be at a problem and I'm thinking about stuff. But like you're definitely passively doing it. Although, it's always better to practice, but like you can improve for sure just by like looking at problems like with other people. Code Forces 1000 rated. Yeah, you're definitely good at programming if it's a Code Forces 1000 rated. I'm gonna be honest with you, Chris. Not for the Olympiad, but like another thing too is that like I feel like if you can solve if you can solve 1000 rated problems on Code Forces, like you're fine for Google. Especially as a high schooler. I don't like again, I don't yeah, you're beyond fine. As a high schooler to get a job at Google, like you're trying to get like an internship, let's say, you are beyond ready. You are over prepared. Yes. They are not going to ask you any of those questions. But I want quant. Well, quants are only going to take you if you go to a prestigious university. So I guess you better get studying and try to get into Harvard. They are not going to look at you unless you have that, from what I can tell. Or you win the Olympiad championship. One of those two. Yep, get into Oxford or Cambridge or win that Olympiad championship. Hardest I ever solved was a 1900. First two problems I gave us on Olympiad were like 1100 and pretty much everyone solved them. Yeah. I know the Olympiad people are good. Like definitely you can't say you don't know programming, you do like Olympiad stuff. Okay, yeah. Let's see here. Is there a way that I'm trying to think? Is this like I'm trying to think? Is maybe there's a greedy way to do this, but the problem I'm running into. Shoot, what if we? Is it crazy if I try to maximize the negatives for this one? So one, I try to like make everything positive, and one, I try to make everything negative. God, this is a really annoying problem. This is a super annoying problem. Because now I'm thinking that this might just be some kind of greedy thing. Well, I got 2 more years to go for International Olympiad, so I think I'll give my all. Will we get some good results? Yeah, for sure. The more you practice, the better you'll get, for sure. Okay. Each element must belong to exactly one subarray. Also, bro, this one's crazy. Let me see. I think it tells me like how your score is doing, like compared it to the contest. But I'm thinking that we swipe once and try to maximize the positives, and then swipe once and try to maximize negatives off this size. It's pretty cringe. But like we have to take these. There's like some stopping point. Like let's say it's all negative. Well, then we have to take this for sure. Like at least here. But we just keep going, 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 going. And what we could do is just say like, oh, well, let's just keep going. Keep negativing everything. And then end up with like a really big negative number, and then it ends up becoming a positive because this is like 4 and like 0. Or I guess it's what, 0, 1, 2, 3. It's like 3 and 0. And then we try the same thing again, but this time we only do no. Oh god. Oh god. But just attending means you should be good for most universities, but winning is just free university offers. But just attending means you should be good for most universities, but winning is just free university offers. What do you mean attending you should be good for most universities? What does that mean? You're telling me that like if you attend a contest, universities think that's good? That seems really weird. Like without even placing. Raymond Jones, Broski, read YouTube chat too. I do read YouTube chat. I don't think anyone's messaged anything in YouTube chat. Recursion. Yeah, unfortunately, Twitch chat talks more than YouTube. Attending the International Olympiad in informatics is basically a guarantee you go to a really good, because it's an international contest. Oh, so to get invited to it, you have to be the best in your country. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, attending it? What? Wait, what rating do you have to be to? What rating do you have to be to be the best in your country? Like for I don't know, like for India or the United States. My guess is you have to be like really good. Actually, that's gonna be my guess. I think I looked at some of the problems and like their easiest ones for like their bronze medal. Their easiest ones for like their bronze medal were like, I feel like they were like maybe like 1500 on Code Forces, if not more. Yeah, around 2100 on Code Forces, about 1800. Could you answer my previous question? Sorry, I missed it if you already responded. I don't even see it. I don't even see it. And I make a lot of syntax problems when I try to solve problems. Oh, can you suggest some resources to go through the blind 75? Yeah, I mean, I think I just missed it. Recursion. I'm a comp sci grad and I've taken dashers and algorithms. My brain goes blank. Before starting the blind 75. You don't need any resources to start it. You just start it, unfortunately. Like you have to yeah, I mean, like it sucks. Like there's a lot of stuff that you don't know, but if you graduated, you know, CS, you did DSA, like I mean, you're fine. Like what you're suffering on is like what everybody suffers on when they first start it. So like, I mean, I honestly I would recommend that you actually do a list. So like for me, I like the tech interview handbooks like thing. This is what I did, but which I guess is the grind 75. But yeah, I would put these in maybe like 20 hours a week, toggle that thing 20 hours a week, and then just like get to solving, right? It's the summer, you don't have any classes, you can do 30 problems a week. And I would go through these and then like look at the solution. Like there is no book that's going to teach you that. You know, we do fortunately have Neetcode too. So we do have Neetcode, and you can go ahead and do his list, right? Again, I would say 30 problems a week. If you're over the summer, you don't have like literally just 20 hours. It's like not that much. And I would grind through this like bang, 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 right? Like on 30 of these, and then look at the solution. Neetcode posts all of his videos online, right? Reading any book's not going to help you. You need to practice. This is like math, where you can't learn math by like reading books. Like you have to actually solve the problems, right? Like if you just like never solve problems, you're never going to get better. That's a big part of like doing math stuff, is like they give you a problem, you solve it, you get the pattern, and then you go on to the next one. Can you drop the link beside Neetcode? The tech interview. Oops, I think I messed that up. I'm gonna post it again. Cool. It should be the second one. If I mistyped that, I don't know if I did or not, but cool. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I mean that's the only way. Again, if it's a summer and I'm a college student, I would do at least 30. You do at least 30 every single week. At the end of the month, you're gonna have at least 120 problems done, and that'll make you good. That'll make you good. You'll finish this and you'll be good. You'll be solid for like a tech interview. Alrighty. So cool. All right. I don't know. This one was a weird one, man. The first and second element. So we need one. It's going to have two, where we're going to be subtracting the first and second and then adding everything else. But then if we happen to see something that's negative, then we don't want to add it. But then there's this condition here, which is so critical, that like kind of kills my solution, which is that we can actually flip it if the number's too negative. So if the number is like going here, we can just take the element and just like cut it off and grab it. I wonder. I don't know. This is a tough problem. I think I'd probably have better odds too of solving this if, is this live? Yes, this is live experiment 003. I'm not sure why people ask that either. Do people just like put on pre-recording videos and they just like post it on YouTube? Because it says it like on the thing. It's like live. How many people pre-record? Um, yeah, no, I probably would have better odds on doing this if I wasn't also looking at chat. I think I'm very close with this maybe like greedy thing, and I don't actually think this is a DP problem. There might be like some kind of like, I don't know, trailing thing. Some kind of like pattern. I think I'm gonna end up giving up though, unfortunately, because I really only want to do this for like an hour. So if I can't get this in 20 minutes, then probably just call it. What state do you live? I live in the state of Colombia. Colombia, the country. That's where I live. This place. This is where I live. Republic of Colombia, country in South America. Raymond Jones, you think you could share your resume? Maybe another time when I'm not doing this problem. I mean, like my resume's not fancy, right? Like it's just the stuff that I've done. But either when I'm doing like a less, I guess, when I'm not like trying to do this problem, which I, could be tomorrow, honestly. Could be tomorrow, could be, the day after that, for the streaming stuff. But next time I see you in chat, next time I see your name in chat, I'll remember, Recursion, that I need to show you my resume. Or you can remind me too. But I think I'll remember. You just like say something. Like maybe tomorrow or whatever. I'm streaming every day. If you guys didn't know, stream every day or try to stream every day, depending on like how much work I have to do. But every day at like 9 a.m. EST. If you're an American citizen, have good credit and no criminal history, try government tech. No Leetcode crap, more stability. Yeah, I think I tried applying to like the FBI, and they want like valid like high school or college transcripts or whatever. It's kind of weird, but yeah, I think government tech is a good position too. My guess is that it's pretty chill though, so I'm not sure how much you learn about tech. Like I just feel like you wouldn't learn that much. Like about like, actually improving like systems. I just feel like everything in the government just kind of sucks. And even like the technology companies, they probably like they're not like the best. I feel like I think all the talent gets siphoned away to like Fang and I guess HFTs. Depends. Try intelligence. All right. No problem. Do you have projects live somewhere? I'm not sure if I should spend more time on side projects or Leetcode. I don't know either, honestly. I have no idea either. But the thing is that like my projects aren't gonna be like they're gonna be different. Um, my project's gonna be different because when I have work experience, so like I just use work experience as my projects. But as it stands now, like I really the only projects I have is like I have like this website and I have like DSA notes on it, but I don't think anybody cares about those. And then I have like this Pat's whiteboard thing that I made for it's like a Leetcode leaderboard basically, so I can see how people are doing. Yeah, I'll be right back to you. All right, I'm back. Let's see here. Depends, right? Is that Quavo on your DP? The job market right now is broken. I granted Leetcode for a year. I have an MS and TS, so I'm pretty solid. Interview for Google Meta, got racist, prejudiced interviewers, and didn't move forward. Yeah, the job market's pretty bad. You know, one thing, bro, I thought this thing was so funny. I thought this thing was so funny. Where's the thing at? What's it called? Like captains and interview. Oh my god. Wait, I lost the guy. This guy? This one was really funny. I like this video. This software engineering in 2021 versus 2024. Where like it feels like when you're interviewing, like just like recruiters were probably more desperate because they didn't actually have like a pool of candidates, but like now recruiters don't give a fuck, bro. They'll in this he's like making jokes and just about like how the recruiters act or whatever. But I thought this was pretty funny. But like at one point he's like the recruiter's just like, oh, you should we like to your performance was like dog shit in this interview, but we'd like to extend you an offer to kill yourself. And I was like, oh boy. But that's honestly what it feels like in this market. It's just like recruiters are ghosting all the time. Like they don't really care at all about like their candidates. You just get like the craziest stuff. You won't go through that BS in government tech, yeah. Yeah, I guess nobody's really thinking about government tech, so you probably get like less or more candidates and stuff. But yeah, I don't know because what I might try to do is just do like entrepreneurship too. So like just spend this year and just try to grow like on YouTube, or like try to grow the channel, try to make like good videos, and then try to monetize that. That's honestly what I might do, as opposed to like just grinding like interviews essentially and like hoping one company would like accept me. Anyways, dang, not great. Not great. Also, I hate like again, I hate streaming these things because I actually end up just talking a lot. I guess we'll call it here on this one, but it's kind of annoying. I feel like I can solve this problem too. But whatever. Whatever. I feel like I can solve it, but like I would actually need to like not talk and I need to like focus. Like I would do if I'm doing the contests. But anyways, I thought about making some videos going over this old contest too. But I don't even know. So let me see this. Weekly? No, bi-weekly. I was curious about this Q4 graph. What does it look like actually? So I'm like here. I'm like 3,000, 3,000. Wow. Interesting. Like everything kind of went stable until there were around, I guess, 30 minutes left in the contest. And then at that point, the rate of people who were able to solve Q4 like went up. I don't think it's that crazy though, but interesting. Anyways. Go visit, get your foot in the door. You'll get TCS. Yeah, that you can work at it if you love big tech. Yeah, for sure. The top secret security clearance is nice, and it's also very sought after. I sent out around 200 applications back in April. I received one interview, had 10 referrals, and had 9 interviews from those insane. Yeah, you need referrals for sure. Like referrals make a huge difference. I've applied to a lot, and the ones that I get are just from the referrals. It's code. What is up? Like Q4 graph after 50 minutes. Yeah, Jay Burn, you were saying that. I don't think this is like that crazy. Like, I mean, it's obviously like there's something that happened, right? It's like, oh, did everybody just get a spark of ingenuity at the 60-minute mark, and then that's when they were really able to take off? But I thought it was going to be like way more drastic, like a shot up rate. But yeah, I mean, kind of got robbed because I probably would have been around here. This is probably what it should have been. Actually, if we extrapolate this out, if we assume that rates of people getting the problems are the same over time without the cheating, right? This is like a cheating. But if we extrapolate this one out, like this one's probably going maybe to about 4,000, honestly. So like this probably would have been the rating that I would have gotten is a 4,000. But like I think there was 1,000 people who cheated, just but again based off extrapolation of this. But that said, there can be people who I guess get problems right towards the end, but so the extrapolation probably doesn't make sense. But yeah. I mean for sure, like this is like what 5,000, 4,900, but like it should have only been like at 4,000, just going off the rate of change. I would say 3 out of 4 of that is cheating, yeah. Like I said, yeah, you just based off like you extrapolate it, like just try to like draw or map this line out and extend it out. And it should be around here, not up here. This is too high. Like unless people like suddenly get sparks of ingenuity, right? Some kind of thing would have to change that would make them like know the problems, but yeah, for sure. But I thought it was gonna be crazier though. I thought it was gonna be like boom. But oh wait, here's the graph too. So like it's barely, 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 and then out at the 50-minute mark, then it shoots up. There's the rate of change too. Yeah, it's really hard to see on this because the axis is like pretty bad. It's pretty stretched out. All right. Anyways, I think I would have been able to do Q3, but that's it. Maybe I'm coping, but I think I could have done Q3 if I wasn't streaming right now. 2-minute Q1, 7-minute, 45 seconds Q2. Yeah, I think next time, like anytime I like focus, I'm just not gonna stream. I think that's what's gonna happen. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna probably end the stream. I don't know actually. Is Leetcode API public? I don't know if it's public, but you can sure use it. I don't know if it's public, but you can query it if you want. That's what I'm doing for this Pat's whiteboard. That Leetcode leaderboard. But I have no idea if it's public or not, like for actual use, but you can access it. They don't have API keys or they don't have anything like, I guess, blocking bots from querying it, which is how all this stuff exists. Thank God too. Because if they blocked it, I mean, again, Leetcode would suck as a site because we wouldn't have this one. This doesn't exist, I don't think, if we can't query the questions. Unless you want to do web scraping, I guess. And then, what's the other one? Oh yeah, LCCN also would not exist. So thank God, like, people can code things that are better than Leetcode's, like, actual engineers. That people can give us rating approximations. What do you mean by querying? Is it like web scraping? No, Leetcode's API, like, if you ever want to know, like, someone's API, okay, here we go. If you ever want to know someone's API, what you can do is you can open up your inspect element, go to your network tab, and this is going to tell you all the requests that are being sent out. So like, let's say I go to my profile, right? Oh, look at all these requests that are being sent out, right? So this stuff here, post, request, you can go to response, and you might be able to see my screen a little bit, but if you go to response, you're going to see some data here. And right, so these are all the problems that I've solved. If I like flip my thing, this is all the problems I've solved in every language. And this is just a query. So what you can do is you can go to requests and you can see the query they're using. And then you can try to hit that same thing. And what you can do is you can go to your headers. You go to your headers and I think it should be your request headers, honestly. Yeah, here we go, request headers. And then you can just copy these. Okay, I think I don't know if I I don't know if any of that stuff was bad, but anyways, all that to say is that like if you're trying to do like requests and things like that, you can handle that here by like going here. Pretty sure Leetcode actually rate limits you if you spam their. Yeah, they should rate limit you. That again, they'd be really stupid if they didn't rate limit you. That said, like if you're just trying to look up things for like 100 people, then it's probably fine. And it's the same thing too with this, where they're probably querying like 30,000 things, or maybe not even, maybe like 5 pages of Leetcode stuff or 100, whatever. I don't know, but yeah, this isn't a massive query. Now, if you want to query like every individual profile, then yeah, like it's harder for sure. All servers are APIs. I think some could be public or private. Like you can't do the same thing with ChatGPT, for example, because it isn't massive because the queries are joined. But yeah, but this is like Leetcode is, I say public, right? In that sense, but like if you're trying to do the same thing for ChatGPT and you're like, oh, let me just, crack into here and get some free GPTs, right? It's just not gonna work because I'm pretty sure they got like more security or something. I don't know. I haven't tried it. Anyways. That's how you do that stuff. I think. I mean, I guess I'll just look at the solution to that problem because I spent like an hour on it and I couldn't get it. What's the hint at? Give me some hints. I feel like every hint that would have been said, I probably would have already like said on stream, but we're gonna look at them. The problem can be solved using dynamic programming. That's what I thought. I thought I could have did dynamic programming, but I was like, oh, let me not do it. Maybe I should just have gone that route instead of trying to do this fancy, like maybe greedy algorithm approach. But I feel like it could work. Yeah, my computer is just dying, man. Oh boy. So we can always start a new subarray. The problem is selecting elements from an array and flipping their signs and negatives to maximize sum. We cannot flip the two consecutive elements. So the first element cannot be negative. Wait, it says that the first element can't be negative. It said that. Okay, never mind. Oh no, this is just DP. That's probably why I couldn't solve it then. I just suck at DP. There's like so many DP problems. They come up all the time. Oh god. Yeah, I should have just did DP. I thought you could do this like greedy. Feels bad. Like I think next week needs to be like DP day, where we're just only doing dynamic programming problems. My times are like pretty good. I wish I could use Vim during this too, because I could get even faster times. If I had that, I could get even faster than like 740. Probably about 7 minutes. Shave like 45 seconds off of it. I have about 100 days to get really good at CP. Do you have any advice? Because I suck right now. You're hella talented. Well, I mean, you're definitely probably ahead of me, right? I mean, if you're solving like 1,000 rated problems in code forces, I mean, we're probably more or less at the same level. Advice to get better. I mean, you just gotta keep practicing, right? Like, so like for example, right? Like my contest results, I know that like, okay, this one's like DP, and I already know this even from past contests too, that like DP solutions come slower to me, and they're also like just harder, and also bit masking comes slower and harder. So like, I think it makes sense to practice like specific topics off of like some certain elo. So I think that's a good thing, and that's like a strategy at least that I'm doing to improve. Is that I don't want to just practice the same stuff that I already know. I want to actually expand and grow and learn new things, so I can use them for the future. You know, kind of like picking up tools. And so my strategy is just solving like harder problems. So like going to the dynamic programming section, right? There's 500 of these bad boys, and I can really go hard on these. And then I can just like look at, you know, what rating they should be. So that one actually doesn't even exist. Nice. But like just looking at what rating they should be, like 1659 or something. And the DP ones I think are typically hard, so I don't want to solve something that's too hard. But I do want to kind of go down and find something reasonable that I would be able to solve. So like, I don't know if you know if this one's reasonable, honestly, but basically just try and solve these, look at their solutions, and try to understand them, learn something new. And yeah, I mean, you definitely don't suck if you're 1000 and you're like 16 years old. Um, one thing I like, one thing I like didn't really like, or like, mm, yeah, I think one thing that just didn't make sense a whole lot to me, but I understand like, you know, kind of like the human side of it, is that like once you kind of like, this happens all the time for like the software engineers. It happens to people who are like it'll be with you basically forever. It's kind of like a mindset thing. But like what happens is for engineers and college students is that like they have like some goal, and then once they reach it, then they're like, oh well, this goal is way too easy. This goal is shit. Like, thanks for the follow, Chris. um they'll say like, oh well, I just achieved this goal. Oh well, that was like so obvious, like that was bad, like who even cares? This is the real goal. And they'll go up here and they'll be like, oh well, that this wasn't even the real goal, like yeah sure. And then they'll can just keep going, and they'll just infinitely just scale all the way up and just keep doing the same thing where they're like, oh this is the goal, oh this is the goal. And they just kind of get stuck in this loop. There's a, you know, Naval Ravikant kind of talked about this too, but like, and you might see this maybe in like some kind of spiritual stuff, or maybe even this idea of like a rat race, where you know people are like, oh, you're just constantly chasing something. But it it I'm trying to think of like how I can convey this, I guess. For high school, like for like high school or college students, like what I would see, going and working at like, you know, like I was in like this IB program, right? Like all the people, all the kids are more wealthy, right? Like poor kids, I think my mom was making like 30K a year, which is poor in the United States, by the way. But I was like with students who generally like their parents had a ton of money and they were making like 100K plus a year, and so like they could afford like all the college prep. They, you know, knew like, hey, go to college, you're gonna make something out of your life. Like, and these people probably making millions of dollars or whatever. While I'm sitting here like not, but like one thing when you have like these people who are like trying to excel is that like they lose their minds when something like bad happens, and they also have an insane amount of stress to like accomplish like kind of this goal. And like if something like stops them from that, like they kind of just crash and like lose their mental state essentially. That's just one thing I've noticed, right? So like this would translate into like when these people go to college. And again, I went to like the University of Florida, which is one of like the best schools in the state of Florida. Like you have to be an overachiever to go there. You have to have overachieved in this area and like kind of, you know, win here. But like these people would, oh nice, it's lovely. These people would like have like just mental breakdowns at the thought of getting like a C or a B in their class. So like you'd have people who succeeded their entire lives, and then like they try to like, you know, reach this goal or whatever, but they couldn't do it, and then like they would just like burn. All to say, all this to say is that like um I think there's like some level of like perspective. I'll get more into this. Let me probably flesh out my idea. Okay, cool. So what I was saying is that no, people with yeah, stars don't burn forever. The problem is that this is a mindset thing where, like, the problem where this comes out is that like these people, their mindset just like kind of shatters, and it leads to them just having like really bad outcomes in life. I would say. So like, uh, I think I talked to a professor too, and he was like, like I gave the student like a B or whatever. Like he went to like two different universities, and then he went to our university, after, and our university was like, higher standards or whatever. Or higher, this class of people that I mentioned here, like these overachievers, and it was like a shock for him having students come into his class, like come into his like office, just crying that they need to like change their grade, or that they don't know what they're gonna do, because like they got some like bad grade here. Now, the negative effect of this is that like the negative effect is just really just like suffering. Like it's like because you didn't achieve some goal, like you're actually like just you're negatively like suffering. And so you have these people who they oscillate between being really really happy and then being really really sad, and it's all kind of determinant on the outcome of like them, and they'll just bounce between these two, just oscillate, where they're amazing or like things are maybe okay when they're like at like like the 0.99% or whatever of people, and then things are like, oh my god, like the worst ever, right? This is, you just generally don't want to be here just for like mental health and like just happiness wise. I don't think that like I I'm bringing this up because I don't think that like a lot of this stuff really really matters, I'm honest, in the grand scheme of things. And this is something that I literally, I think I wrote about this maybe like 10 years ago, but like the idea that like I don't know, that just like life is like, oh, you just excel and you just get this next thing, and then you go here and you have to get this next thing, and then you have to get this next thing, and it's like, why, like for what reason? Which kind of, I guess, brings me to like this other idea, which is that like there's like this thing that like Naval Ravikant said, and it was like you can have, right, like there's like some guy who's like a business CEO or whatever, and he like sees like this fisherman, and then the fisherman's like, their CEO's like, oh, so like like you could optimize like your fishing thing, and you could totally like make like $1 million a year or whatever, like if you just like tweak these things in like your business model, and you could like do this. And the guy's just like, oh, but like why would I want to do that? And he's like, oh, so you can make like a ton of money, and then you can like basically do whatever you want to do. And he's like, oh, well, like I'm already doing that right now, like I'm just fishing, right? Like I'm just hanging out, like I just do this for kind of like a pastime. um but kind of the point of it was just that like you can have like these steps, step, right, where you just keep going, going, but it's like, where are you even going? Like what's the point of having like $100 million if you like you're just working and like suffering, and like you're not even like doing the things that you have, like the money. There's the point of money to give you like the things that you want. I don't know, anyways, this is like kind of advanced, and maybe I might actually just end up kind of just ranting about this for a little bit longer, but just because I've never lived my life in the way where like I'm like, okay, shoot, like I need to go here and then here, or like, oh, okay, I was worried that I was like gonna fail out of my class because I couldn't pass calculus. Like that was probably my biggest worry. And I would see people here where they're like complaining because they don't know if they want to accept their Google offer for 300K a year or whatever, or I guess it was maybe 160K a year or whatever at the time. Yeah, they don't know if they should accept their Google offer or versus like their Facebook offer, right? Like it's like these kind of turmoils I think are pretty different. Anyways, um, UFO, UF is my school. UFO is my school. But anyways, I say this too, like one, just for personal happiness. I think this is probably just the most direct thing, is for personal happiness. But I think that once you're happy, you can kind of do other things too. That's maybe my guess, at least. IMO, this is representative of the nature of IQ, where only people who are like true geniuses can reach certain levels through the proposed waves of society. So they are basically NPCs who don't know their actual level. It's like what Peter Thiel describes when he mentions extroverted BSc finance majors who are true geniuses but are hard workers, who are true but are hard workers, so they reach a point where effort stops mattering. until it's the basis of their identity. I haven't heard of that idea at all. Camera froze. What do you mean camera froze? It doesn't look like it froze. Did it freeze? It actually did? Hmm. Oh, okay, well, that sucks. I don't know why. Solaris says that's you. It's fine. Cool. So yeah, I don't know what Peter Thiel said about that. I don't. Yeah, I mean I don't know if we could pull that up, but Peter Thiel extroverted finance. I think it can also be the consequence of content creation. Yeah, I mean I think it is also a content creation thing. Calc is a data structure algorithms of CS. Probably. Where most people bow out. Yeah, like that's what it was at UF. It was like if you don't do calculus, then I think at UF at my university it was like 30% of people like fail. So like you take like these hyper selected again like smart people who they crushed engineering all their life and then like for the first time in their lives they suck at something. They for the first time in their life they suck at something and like now their mindset is like in this like despair mode where they're like I can never do this. I will never ever be good at this. There's no way my IQ is not high enough and then they just never like that's it. They fizzle out. This their mental takes over them and they're dead. Like dead in the sense of they kind of switch majors. So then they're like, you know what? Yeah, I was a superstar at math. I was a superstar killer at math in high school. But when I went here, I realized I suck at this. And so I'm not going to do it anymore. And then they just kind of give up and they go on to business or whatever, or finance or whatever it doesn't require calculus. And that's like their takeaway from it. But it's just a whole mindset mentality thing where when you attach like your things, at least when I attach my success to external opportunities, when I attach my success to it, I think like uh I just oscillate based off that. It's just kind of things that I don't know I can't really control. Um Honestly, you're right. My real passion is game development, but also my goal for high school is also to go to IOI at least once. So I kind of really want to do two things at once, yeah. The sound was okay, but the image froze. The image froze. From what I've seen from content creators, it's a continuous rat race. Yeah, and yeah, I mean this is the same thing too with content creators, where like yeah, you just kind of get stuck in this thing where like, oh, okay, I'm gonna hit 1,000 subscribers. Oh, nice, I hit it. Oh, well now I'm gonna hit 10,000. Oh, I did it. Okay, this sucks. Like, well now we need to go somewhere else, right? Your just mind just kind of because it's a it's a kind of like an evolutionary thing where we want to gain more and more and more. So now you want 100, now you want 10,000. Like now you're never satisfied with 10,000 viewers. Now you're never satisfied with 100,000 viewers. Now you're never satisfied with a million. And you want to keep growing, growing, growing. Um, which yeah, again just causes more pain because like when you don't achieve that external goal and you're tying your happiness to that external goal or you like it and you don't get it, now you feel bad about yourself and now you just don't feel great. Anyways, um, why did I bring that up? Anyways, I guess I mentioned that too, just because like when I see Chris or like when I see like the thing you're saying where you're like, oh, I suck at programming. Like it's like what? Well, hold on. Like you're probably within like like the 99% of like programmers. Which like and I know when you started here you were like I suck, I suck, I suck, I suck. But like now that you're all the way up here at 99%, like you're still like I suck. I wonder, and again, I don't know because I haven't really talked to you, but I wonder like yeah if that would cause like any this kind of oscillation thing, right? Where you're like, oh, I feel sad, I feel happy, right? And you're kind of just like you're when you don't have something and you feel suck, like then you're like, oh, I suck, I'm the worst ever, and it kind of goes down to here. And then when you do well, you're like, okay, I'm like good essentially, or like maybe this is like a baseline level where you're just like, oh, well, I don't know, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, my thoughts are for myself is just like, yeah, I'm just vibing, man. I go out, I do some Leetcode problems. Hopefully I get a job. I mean, it'd be good if I did, but we got time. We're vibing. I did You know, I think probably objectively, like, you know, part of my life is like going, like money wise. We are talking about money, like I'm just kind of going down. But that said, I get to vibe for a bit. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to do these YouTube videos and see if we pass any interviews or improve at Leetcode. I'm in a weird space where I'm in big tech making good money, but I haven't gotten any happier. I don't think I'll ever be satisfied with corporate life because as a kid, entrepreneurship was the goal. So after a few years, anyways, anywhere I get jaded. Yeah. Save me from pursuing external things to feel accomplished. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I probably like, I'm probably not like the happiness person, honestly. But I don't know. These things are like, these are the things that kind of help me is just like, one is like meditating. And then two is like, I can say all this stuff, but like, I think when meditation, you kind of really internalize it that like, I just don't think any of this stuff really matters. Where I'm like, oh, I need to make like that amount of money. Where's like the text thing? The shapes, the text. Yeah, I don't think I'm like at this point where like I need to make like 100 million. Like that said, right? I have another goal too, which is like I want to help people. So like making money is gonna lead to that. But like for my own security, it just that's just not like a thought or like a worry. And I also think I'll get there eventually. I think if I keep leak coding, and I think if I keep doing system design stuff, I'll, you know, everything's gonna kind of work out. Yeah, I just don't have any like anxiety around that. And when I see my friends, it seems like they have like a lot of anxiety around just stuff that doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, like again, they're pulling in maybe like 10K a month, and like the things they stress about is like, I want to buy a new car, and this car is gonna cost me like I don't know, I guess maybe like $10,000 or 20,000, whatever it is. But I feel like this is like the stuff that stresses them out, and like I don't even know like what other things, but it's just like it's kind of just dumb material stuff that, or just stuff that just really doesn't matter. I don't know. Or like, oh, I want to buy a house. Like that's another one. I want to buy a house, and it's like, okay, well, just wait. Like just save this, and just wait. Just wait 2 years and you'll have it. But anyways, I understand like the emotional part of it, right? The emotional thing is that our brains are going to constantly tell us that we want more. It's going to tell us that we're not good enough, and that's going to push us to do more, right? As like a human race, it's like an evolutionary benefit. Only business guys become billionaires. Well, I want to be rich, a billionaire. How long did it take you to get from 1600 to 1700, or how hard was it? The problem with ratings is that they take a while to catch up. So like even now, like my rating is probably an 1800. I mean, I'm probably like at least an 1850 right now, but I think it's gonna take a while for it to catch up. That said, maybe I'm just coping, but actually, like it's dependent on my contest performance, and there's a luck factor essentially, right? Like your rating isn't true because there's luck. Now that said, I crossed about 1700 when I scored. I got ranked 2300 in the Leetcode contest. That was March 16th. So that was February 3rd was when I started doing contests again. So about 2 months, 2 months to reach 1700. Comfy. Well, I want to be rich, a billionaire. I'm telling you right now, you won't become a billionaire by programming. You become a billionaire by programming. Like, I mean, the thing is, you got to do it for a really long time, but you can do it. You could, I mean, you become a CTO, I'm pretty sure, right? Can't you? Like, the route, again, I love this business stuff. So this is my bread and butter. I love this stuff. But you can become a CTO of a startup. You find some startup, I don't know, you partner with somebody, you do some kind of partnership, you become the CTO, and then you take that company and you IPO it. You build it. You make a good product. You right. That's the route. That's the route to a billionaire. I think you have to. It has to come from a startup though. The other route too is that you try to become like the CTO of Google. That's another route, but um, I don't know how much they pay them. How much do you think the CTO of Google gets paid? Probably a lot. I don't know if he would actually, maybe not billionaire, but I don't know actually. Peter Thiel, every company creates X dollars of value and captures that value. Like, either you become CTO of a startup, you build your own startup, or I guess you do like angel investing, and so you decide to become the person. And this is probably what Adnan is talking about, where you need to do business, where you become like an investor. So that's another thing, is that like you invest in businesses. So you take like your 1 million a year Google salary, and then you find companies that you think are going to take off, that you think are going to pop off IPO so huge, and you invest your money into those, and that when they actually do pop off, you make the money off of that. That's like the second route. I think to $1 billion, I don't think you can make it. It's got to be one of these two, whether you're CTO of some crazy startup and you force it into IPO, or you invest your money into a startup that's going to IPO. That's like the route I think for a programmer. That makes sense. Think of programmers as forms of artists. They make people's lives easier and make them entertained and stuff, but not really make them billions of dollars. Founder of Google was a PhD in computer science who built a search engine for fun and became a billionaire because of it. But he was also a genius and was a good businessman. You have any places you're most interested in working at? I don't really care. I don't think I really care. I don't have any real places that I think I be curious about. I think as long as I can just solve some interesting problems and kind of learn, and then also that I'm not doing stuff like, I guess, helping people have a gambling addiction. So like if I was working for like a casino or like a cigarette factory, that's probably not where I'm gonna work at. His product was so good he didn't need business. Have you ever seen ChatGPT? Programming isn't just a job. Computer science is a field where you can work in, but programming is separate from that. Yeah, like, I don't know. Anyways, I mean, I kind of already said it, but yeah, like if you're trying to get to $1 billion, my guess is that one is gonna take you years. I mean, we're talking about like, um, I don't know how many billionaires there are in the world, but like, it's probably gonna take you like 40 plus years, and then two, like you're probably gonna be doing like CTO at a startup that IPOs, or you're an angel investor. For a programmer, I think this is probably the thing, or you're some angel investor. And both of these are also like very luck dependent. You need to make sure that you choose whoever you choose as your partner for this startup. Whoever your employees are, you need to make sure that they're not like idiots, or that they're actually like amazing. Because if they aren't, then it's not $1 billion company. It's not gonna work. Another thing, yeah, I don't know. This is like, yeah, this is what I would do, I guess, if I was trying to. I would just focus like pure on this stuff, and I would eventually transition to something like this. So the path might be like work at like an HFT or something, and then kind of move into like senior engineer or whatever, and then go into like staff, right? Go into staff and then etc. And kind of just ramp up. But this is over the course rate again. I think like probably 40 years. It's a long time horizon for sure, in my opinion. Anyways, all right, I'm going to dip, guys. It's been fun, and I'm gonna do try to do a weekly Q&A thing, but yeah, thanks for stopping by. Not a crazy amount of Leetcode happening, but all right, peace. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. 07. See you guys. Have